Sharp may not be able to guard a guard at the perimeter, but like Sharp can rebound, and he's bigger and he's stronger and he fights on rebounds more. And he might not be the same athlete that Claxton is in terms of dunking, but he also gets offensive rebounds and tips the ball back and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of little things that he does, which is why I loved him going into the draft. Like that this Nets team specifically really needs.
Yeah, and my thing with him is the thing I love about Sharp is that he like we gave him the critique, right? We said we saw him in summer league. He was very heavy. He was very clunky. You could see he had some skill, but he was very clunky, and he needed to lose weight, and he needed to get lighter on his feet. And the difference between him and Claxton is that critique went out there, and not that he heard it from me, but I'm sure that was the Nets coaching staff's critique, because look at the results.
Yep.
He's way thinner. He's way lighter on his feet. He's very bouncy. And not only does he rebound and defend, he doesn't defend on the same level as Claxton, but he rebounds, he defends, and he's consistent. And that takes away the fact that makes it hard to compare him to a kid like Claxton, who's elite on defense.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I mean, like, yeah, no, sorry, keep going.
no, so I wasn't sure if you had something to say on that, but I I think I don't think I think Claxton is going to play. I think Claxton is going to be the starting center, just because of age, if healthy. But if he's not available, it's so good to know that you have this kid who could give you some minutes. It lets you introduce LMA. LaMarcus comes in. He doesn't necessarily come in when there's a lot of scoring on the floor. You're taking one or two of James Harden and Kyrie Irving or Durant. You're taking one or two of them off. You're introducing more scoring in the form of LaMarcus back in. So it's like I like what Nash did there, like starting the kid versus starting LaMarcus. Let LaMarcus get bedded in his role coming off the bench. Let him have clarity on what his role is going to be and how they're going to use him, and put him on the floor when you need scoring. I think that's the opportunity. That's where the opportunity for Day'Ron comes in, because if Claxton gets hurt, and Claxton does get hurt, he'll have a starting role, and maybe he'll play heavy minutes. Like LaMarcus will finish the game, but maybe they'll be able to use him 20 plus minutes a game just because of the opportunity that's presented.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that. I think you've been on the money on the big guys, and like you also were one of Claxton's biggest supporters. But obviously, it's just been it's been too irritating of a ride now for 3 years. Like with Jared Allen, we saw every year he got better, and like Sharp looks like he's more on the Jared Allen trajectory. Not even in terms of like how good he'll get, but in terms of development. And with Claxton, there's just no momentum ever, and like I like Claxton a lot because he also has attitude, which I think the team kind of needs. But I don't know. I think
Neither is a bad choice. Neither one of them are such standouts that one or the other is a bad choice.
right.
I think the one that has to play, though, is Claxton. I mean, excuse me, not I really misspoke. I think the rookie that has to play, though, is Kessler. Kessler is a phenomenon.
He is really good. No, for sure.
He's not young. See that's
No.
another difference with him and Day'Ron. Day'Ron's 20, Kessler's 22. He's physically ready to play. I don't know if he's physically ready to play a big role in the playoffs, but he hits shots. He doesn't get rattled. I can't say for sure he's ready, but I think out of the three, out of Dayron, Kessler, and Cam, I think Kessler's the one that has to play. What
Yeah, I
say
mean, look,
you?
I mean, no one loves Kessler like as much as I do. I feel like, and I do agree that I think the age thing is a great point. Like he isn't 19 like Cam Thomas is, or 20, or just turned 20, whatever. Like, uh, and look, he has that. Like John Hollinger wrote in an article recently, he's like, in the playoffs you want as many 6'7" or 6'8" like bouncy 3-and-D guys, and that's what he is. Like that's what the playoffs want. And so like he's that dude. And I'm just thinking about from last year, like it would have been nice to have a Dayron to help out like what the Claxton Blake Griffin spot. But look, I mean, both those guys are getting a ton of experience for rookies. Like it's pretty amazing. Like they're and the difference is that because they're not big ball handlers, like they're not going to have the same um, responsibility as a rookie who is a point guard, and where you can really make like really massive mistakes. Like I hope I'm not jinxing them going forward, but like it's their roles are going to be very, very, very specific, and what they're going to have to do is not going to be too massive.
It depends on what they get at the buyout. Right now,
Yeah,
the rookies are better than what we have. That's a sad state of things, but the rookies are better than what we have. They give the team bounce. They give the team energy. We run the floor better, but as you can see, we lose leads with them too. Teams come back on us when we're way up ahead. So, can we play with these kids in the playoffs? I don't think so. You know, there's going to have to be some roster decisions made, but at the very least, I think if there's one of them that can do it, I would have to say it's Kessler.
yeah, and look, if there's anything we know, it's that Marks usually doesn't make the move that everyone is talking about and that all the sports writers thinks is going to happen. Like he always does something else. So you know, it's like I definitely don't think that Mark stands pat. I think he definitely wants to see what he actually has when everyone's healthy, but I definitely don't think he just stands pat. And I think we will see some movement because he has to know that like having the Javon Carters and people of the world like is just not going to cut it. And I think he also probably knows like this Bruce Brown experiment is over because like Bembry's just better and does like there's not one thing you can really say that Bruce Brown does better than Bembry at this point.
Yeah, that's true too. But Bruce Brown and Bembry are the same. They do exactly the same thing, which is they're redundant. The the Nets need a point guard. That's why
Yep.
I'm watching that Goran Dragic situation. The Nets need a point guard. They need someone. They need someone who. They need someone who could bring the ball up. I don't know if you've noticed this since Kyrie's been back or when Kyrie plays. Um, you know, I feel like when Kyrie plays, the ball gets brought up faster. That Kyrie increases the
Oh
tempo
yeah,
of the game.
completely different
And
game.
exactly. I think they need continuous. But that's easier said than done. We'll see what happens with that. Any All Star picks? Someone who
Uh,
should be making the All Star that isn't
for the Nets or generally?
generally.
I mean, I'm hoping that one of your favorite Nets of all time, Jared Allen, gets his first nod because him and Garland honestly deserve it. We'll see. I think probably some more established stars might make it instead, like maybe like a Tatum or even like Harden and stuff like that will make it. But
You
but
stole my one.
what'd you say?
That was my one.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
like too. I vote like I've been like when I'm making my list. I think Allen should be in there. Like he's been freaking awesome, and he's on the most surprising team.
Yeah. No, I love that team. Great squad. You good?
I'm good, man.
We are Pod Thorn.
Peace.
Pod Thorn. Pod Thorn. Pod Thorn.